everybody, and welcome to episode number 13 of the Quick Question Podcast. My name is Gabe Ryan, along here with my lovely co-host, Matthew Shafty.
Thanks for that.
Hey, you're welcome. How are you doing today, Matt?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Doing just peachy?
I'm doing great. Had a final today. Went really well.
Actually?
Yeah. I honestly think I aced it.
Dude,
Maybe not aced it, but like very, very close.
Let's
Very
go.
close. That
That's what
went
we
really
like to
well.
hear.
And the Lions just gave me that spark of motivation to just grind out. This is the grind week.
So-
And the Lions have thoroughly impressed me with what they did. I'm still at a loss for words.
I mean, to say that Shafty is on cloud 9 is maybe the understatement of the year.
Mhm.
And I'd like to know how many times I've said the phrase understatement of the year this year. It's been a lot. Anyways.
I don't know.
I feel like I say it all the time. Anyways, but I feel like I really, really deeply mean it this week. Because, Matt, I'm very happy for you. And I told you last week, if the Lions are to beat the Vikings this past weekend, you got a shot to make the playoffs.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's not get
Gabe.
ahead of ourselves. One game at a time.
One game at a time.
Blah, blah, blah. Lions have a shot. Okay?
Fine.
And they're playing good football. Great football. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the city of Detroit. You guys have been through a lot worse stuff than us Cincinnatians. Not that I'm technically from Cincinnati, but you know
You've
what I
been
mean.
through a lot.
Adopted. Yeah. I'm excited for you. And I'm proud of you for being an academic weapon.
Mm-hmm. And just I think even more than that, I'm just a loyal fan. You know, it's been years. It's been a grind. And even the ones that are older than me, it's been a grind. That grind set, you know.
You say grind set?
I did.
Oh my God. Anyways, I'll be honest. I'm very burned out right now. I did way too much writing this morning on my exams.
So did I.
So I apologize if my brain's a little all over the place during this episode. But anyways, I think today we're going to talk about some NFL teams.
Mm-hmm. I think actually today we're just going to talk.
We're just going to talk.
It's been a long.
We don't have a structure.
We're only like what? 2 days into the week, 3 days into the week, and it's been a long week. Last week was long. This week is longer.
Yeah, we're going through it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
so we're just gonna talk.
We're just gonna talk about
sports
sports
today.
Well, do you want to start with the NFL?
We can start with the NFL.
Okay, because I would say at this point, there's 4 weeks left. This is where you're really finding out which teams are legit, which teams have been faking it for some of the year.
Yep.
Which teams I think have a chance to either win their division, sneak into the wild card, or even in some cases clinch the number 1 or 2 seed, because that's very important, especially for home field advantage. So you have any thoughts? You know, let's start with teams that are faking it. Any teams that you think have been exposed?
Faking it.
Well, I don't know. That started off hot have really
cooled down.
Really cooled down.
Well, I'll mention the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I still think they're going to make the playoffs. They beat the Lions. Lions were this close and couldn't win. But they've cooled off. That's an understatement. They've cooled off. They've lost 3 in a row? 2 in a row?
Something. What's their record?
Oh, I think
Are they 7 and
they are
8 and
8 and
6?
8 and 6.
Okay.
So that is 3 in a row. They were 8 and 3. So
yeah.
They have cooled off. The Ravens are another one of those teams where they keep finding ways to win, even without Lamar Jackson, but they're just not, when you look at them on paper, especially in defense, I would say they've got to be performing at a higher level, especially when you get to that grind mode where you're getting closer to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
I mean, very fortunate to
do
win
better.
against the Steelers this past weekend. And they have another division rival, the Browns.
Yep.
And then I don't know who they
What was
played
it that Joe Burrow said? The handshakes?
Well, okay. Burrow, after the Bengals game the other day, in like the handshake line, not a handshake line, because football is just kind of like a mass of human beings, and they just say, "Good game, man, good game." But Burrow went up to Myles Garrett, who's the Browns' star defensive end, and was like, "Great game, man, whatever." And at the very end, he's like, "Go take care of business next weekend." So, if you don't think the Bengals are thinking about either the top division spot or potentially the number 1 seed, a lot would have to happen for that to come to fruition. But at least to win the division, that's huge. As we've seen last year, you get at least home field advantage for the first game. But sending that message across the division, like, hey, can you help a brother out?
Yeah.
That'd be nice. So, hey, if I were Joe, I would say the same thing.
Why not?
I mean, why not?
Why not? 9-4. Both teams are right there. I would say the Ravens have a little bit of an easier schedule,
Yeah,
but they are down on some players. Injuries have been a constant for them all season. I'm really proud of that team that they're 9-4.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are right with them. I think if the Bengals can win out, there's no reason that they won't win the division. I mean, they would obviously win the division because if they won out, they would play the Ravens. And so, again, even if they don't, right? If they go what is it, 3-1,
3-1.
3-1, 2-2, they still get in the playoffs, and I still think they're one of the best teams in the league. So,
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna have a tough schedule, no matter which way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ravens are a good team. Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. I do think, though, that their offense really, really struggles at times. And Lamar he tries to do too much, which if you're an athlete that can run the ball as well as he can, also has the arm and can throw as well, sometimes you get caught doing too much. And for the most, I would say for a lot of the year, the Ravens offense hasn't been that crazy spectacular.
Yep.
They've won games, which if you're that caliber of team, you're going to win games no matter how well your offense or defense is playing. You're going to find ways to win, which Bengals could say the same thing. Their offense hasn't looked great a lot of the year. Of recent, they've looked great. But I do think as the year has worn on, and Lamar Jackson, who knows how he's going to respond to this injury, you can make the argument that the Bengals are the hotter team, getting them at a good time.
Yep.
Especially with the last game of the season. It's at home. Hopefully the division is riding on it. Maybe it's even the case where they've already clinched. So, just food for thought. But
I think one of those really interesting teams right now, and if you look at the NFC South, there's no one in that division that's going to win a Super Bowl or even compete. But there are some interesting teams that could win the division. One of them right now is the Panthers. They just beat the Seahawks, who were without Kenneth Walker. I know. Oh man, Kenneth Walker. But like they were
Kenneth Walker.
They were missing him and DJ Dallas, both their top running backs, and Penny.
DJ
Penny.
Dallas, that's his name.
Yep,
That's
DJ.
cool.
Deejay. DJ.
Ooh,
He's from the University of Miami.
I love that.
I think.
That's amazing.
Or is he? Maybe Travis Homer's from Miami. I don't know. Okay. Anyway.
That's one of my favorite names. DJ.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
And
Dallas?
he spelled it out. Like
That's
yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, why not? So the Seahawks are slipping a little bit, but the Panthers, the schedule isn't the easiest, but at the same time, it's not the hardest, not the craziest. They still have to face
I mean, they
teams,
play the Lions.
I was gonna get to that. They still have to face teams that are playoff hopefuls, right? And one of them being the Lions, right? So, but again, it's one game at a time for each of these teams. The Lions get the Jets. That's a huge game for the Lions and Jets. Two teams that right now are on the outside looking in. Two teams that have played good ball at stretches during the season, and then at other times just look like they fall off a cliff. But again, we'll see. We'll see. Both teams are very well coached. I'm really excited for that game. Got a friend going to the game. Yep. Jets fan, big Jets fan. But
yeah,
I hope he has fun. I hope the Lions win though. I hope I can. So my plan is that if the Lions do win, I will write an apology letter to that kid who was promised ice cream by Sauce Gardner. Yep. That's what we're gonna do on the podcast next week. We're gonna start out right away. We're gonna have the music, right? We're gonna have the intro, and then I'm just gonna get straight into reading my apology letter.
Why? Why would you do that to that kid? You're a monster.
Because why not?
You're a monster.
I will
You're
buy
a
him. I will buy
monster.
him ice cream.
Okay,
I will
well-
buy him ice cream.
Because I feel like I know what your intentions are. Oh, it'd be a valiant thing, give him ice cream or whatever. But you're really just trying to rub it in.
Yep.
Yes. God.
I'm really excited about this team. Like we'll get to them. We'll get to them. But
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
they can't get off my mind. Giants have slipped a little bit. Giants started the year 6-1,
Yeah.
and now they're 7-5-1. just like, what? And they play another team, the Commanders, who the Commanders recently they've been better than the Giants. And, I do believe that the Commanders at home will beat the Giants, and the Giants, who started out really hot, have a very difficult schedule. They could win. Like, if you saw their 6 remaining games, what was it, from a couple weeks ago? I mean, they might go 1-for-6.
Yeah.
They might go 1-for-6. The Commanders don't have the easiest schedule in the world, right? But it's doable. If they go 9-7-1, they're more than likely in the playoffs. Any team with 7 losses coming out of the NFC will probably be in the playoffs. Probably. Because at this point, the Seahawks schedule is so difficult. I don't know if they'll have, I think they might have 8 or 9 losses.
Yeah.
If you take, and they just lost to the Panthers. So, like, that stings. It stings a little bit. Stings
especially
a lot.
like not even in division rivals, but like in conference games mean so much more.
They do.
Especially for the NFC, because if you beat a team, you have tie-breaking rights over them.
That tie,
because you're not going to see them twice.
that the tie between the Giants and the Commanders, like,
Yeah.
helps a lot. Because even though the Lions have a tiebreaker over both the Giants and Commanders, let's say all those teams have 9 wins. Well, the Giants and Commanders only have 7 losses, so they're both getting in over the Lions, which, like, that's really weird to think about. But
Yeah.
I hate ties so much. I really do. And my hatred for ties has been around forever, but it's just to another level this year, because if the Lions are left out because of a tie, I'm just going to be very angry.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm even saying the Lions are being left out, or the Lions have a chance at the playoffs, is like nuts. I still can't get over it. Right?
Yeah. It's crazy. And last year I would have told you it's nuts that the Bengals made the playoffs. Because
But
the
there they
Bengals
are.
are the Bengals.
Yep.
But then they made it to the Super Bowl, and it's weird that everything has changed. At
I know.
least it's crazy, the turnaround.
I think
I wouldn't say I'm not comfortable with it, because that could be taken the wrong way, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
just feels weird.
I know. I get it. I think what's different with the Lions and Bengals is that the Bengals, they had the 31st pick. The Lions have the Rams pick, which might be a top 4 pick. Might be a top 3 pick.
Yeah, and they were
Right?
in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. So if you would have told me, like, oh yeah, the Lions are gonna have the 4th and whatever 10th or 20 something pick, or even well, we're not gonna get into just too much. I'm gonna get into too much, but we don't want to get into superlatives. But like even 30 something. Let's just talk like. Anyway, if you would have told me that they had one of those numbers and it wasn't the Rams pick that was at that number, it was the Rams pick at 4, I would have told you you're nuts, or like you read something wrong, or like you didn't experience the season. You probably just read it in a newspaper article and came back and told me from the future. Like, no, there's no way. But here we are. We're living in an odd NFL fantasy right now, and I know, who was it? I think it might have been was it Fox that had the Lions all the way up at 8 in the power rankings.
Well,
A
I mean,
6
if
and
you're going
7 team,
recent, if you're doing recency
oh yeah,
bias,
I mean,
sure, they might be
5
higher
of
than
6
that.
could be 6 of 6 had they beaten the Bills, or 7 of 7 had they beaten the Dolphins. Now I can go on and on, but I am just so glad that this team has figured it out. I'm so glad Dan Campbell's my head coach. There were a couple things that Dan Campbell said in the Pat McAfee show that absolutely blew my mind. There was
Do you
one.
want to do that now?
We'll do that in just a moment. There was
Okay.
one where it was the 4th down where they faked the punt at their own 27-yard line. Basically, Dan Campbell's making the call whether or not they want to do it, and he presses his thing, and he says, "Don't go, don't go." He says, "Don't go," but they didn't hear the "don't." Apparently, he didn't press the button in time, so it was go. Or like it was something like that, and then they faked it and picked up how many yards? They got up to like the 31-yard line, and their opponent's 31 yards. Like, what? Are you kidding? Like, what kind of black magic is that? Like, in Detroit, it's like it's always, oh man, this team can't get over the hump. The ball bounces the wrong way. They lose on a last-second field goal from 66 yards, and literally the ball bounced the wrong way. Like, and this has been going on for decades, right? It just seemed like this team is cursed.
And then
But ever since Peyton's Places has visited with some bourbon, right? Ever since then, and they had the whole tub, and they broke the curse, right?
Calm everybody down. Calm everybody down.
Did they actually break a curse? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They could have.
Maybe
Hey, Bengals broke the curse of Max Montoya last year. Maybe this is the year
by
of
just
curse
pure
breakings.
talent, though.
Yeah.
The Lions
well,
started 1-6.
That's true. But
I don't know what to say.
You know what that reminds me of is like where you hear the coach say, especially if he said don't go.
Yeah.
You don't hear the don't. He says go. It's like if you're playing baseball, a third base coach is like waving you home and then says no, 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 but it sounds like go, go, go.
And
sometimes it's just it's hard verbiage to pick up on because you have to be so in tune with what you're listening to.
It rhymes.
Dude, that's happened so many times. I'm guilty of it.
Have you had like tunnel vision running around the bases where it's just like
for sure.
Oh yeah, like you're just so locked in on third.
Well, okay, I'm not a speed demon by any means. There's been times where I do that, but also there's been some times where they've said no, 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 and I went, and let's just say
didn't make it.
Didn't make it. Not even close. Last game of my senior year, I thought they gave me the steal sign, which I thought was generous because, again, not very fast. And the catcher that we were playing against is going to play at Coastal Carolina. Very good player.
Yeah, good team.
Yeah, he's got a rocket arm. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe he's putting me in motion to like hit and run or whatever. Like get a little aggressive on the base path. And I took off, got thrown out by 5-10 feet. And coach is like, what are you doing? I was like, you gave me steal sign. He's like, no. And it was one of the signs we learned like freshman year. Last game of senior year, I couldn't even get that right.
Dang.
And I never missed signs, which is the thing. So that was infuriating. Anyways, back to the Lions. Good segue. Do you want to play some?
Are we even doing How Deep Is Your Love today?
Like, we're just kind of
talking.
We're talking.
We're just kind of talking.
We're talking. Weird. This feels freeing.
It does. We don't ask each other questions anymore. It's just like
we're just
talk.
Yeah. Like human beings, not robots.
Nope.
Do you want to play some of this Dan Campbell?
Yeah, let's play the Dan Campbell.
All right,
clip. This was the second one. We'll give you some context.
You didn't even explain it.
Yeah.
You can set it up.
Yeah, here we go. Dan Campbell, so on 3rd and 7, Ben Johnson called this play where they had 6 linemen on the field and Penei Sewell runs in motion. He was lined up as an eligible receiver, goes in motion, and the athletic freak he is, soft hands, basically dives for a first down. But
Big Boy
for some reason,
moving.
Dan Campbell had no idea what was going on, and we'll show it.
All right. Here's Dan Campbell on the Pat McAfee show earlier today.
Here's another thing that happened. These things happen during the game, but so we're in that situation, and the fans are doing the wave around the stadium, and so I'm just watching, and I hear Ben Johnson's like, "Hey, coach, you want to?" And I'm so focused on the wave, and I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I look up, and we're throwing it to Penei, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
So late.
But it worked out great.
Sorry. Well, I completely whiffed on the censor button.
That's fine.
You know what? Oh,
that just makes it even better. But like, could you imagine just being Dan Campbell and staring, like he's Ted Lasso, just staring at the wave. Like, hey man, look at the wave, man. Oh man. And like, if you watch the video, like his eyes, like in the Pat McAfee show, just kind of like glare up, like he can see the waves still. It's like, what were you doing? And then he doesn't hear Ben Johnson say, yeah, go for it. Yeah. And what?
What are we doing?
Yeah, like that. People were saying, "Oh, what a coaching masterpiece by Dan Campbell." He like coached like it was literally his last day on earth, or it was his Super Bowl.
He was watching the freaking wave.
He was watching the wave, and his mic cut out on 4th down. Like what? What? That's insane. You turn Dan Campbell into like this elite level, greatest of all time coach, just because he makes 2 just insane play calls, and he's getting all the media for it. And it's like, this wasn't Dan Campbell. Like he was watching the wave, or he was
Dan
like
Campbell was lost in the sauce.
Yeah, that was just weird.
That's amazing.
Yeah, hopefully we're not lost in the sauce this weekend.
No,
I hope we have.
no. Well, you might. You
lost. You know.
could. Yeah, it's good wordplay. I meant that. I didn't even think about that until after.
Yeah, I had to say it because
I don't know. We're such.
he's going to be
geniuses.
covering. I'm on.
This is good
St.
improv.
Brown.
Good
Yeah.
improv. Good practice for Thursday.
Yeah, we're in an improv class, and we have a show coming up.
Yeah, it's our final performance.
Gonna go great. Yeah, it's gonna go great.
It's good. Yeah, we're gonna crush.
No
it.
worries. Yeah, we're good. But like, so if Sauce is one of the best corners in the league, I think he's one of the highest rated on PFF. Some people were saying highest. I don't know if this was a different week, but last time I checked, he wasn't. I don't.
He's
fine.
up there.
It's fine. Regardless, he's up there. He's played really well. He's got an argument for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like, dude's been solid, and he's going to be solid for a long time.
And his name's Sauce.
Yeah,
You can't be bad and have your nickname be Sauce.
he's got to face a receiver though. Name I'm on Ross St. Brown, and I'm not just going on about like, oh, I'm a big Lions fan, but like, I'm on Ross when he's been hurt. Like he's been hurt at multiple times this year. He had, I think, an ankle. He had a concussion at one point, and it's like it was just really frustrating in those moments where we didn't have him on the field because he is such a difference maker. His footwork, I've been watching his tape literally since his high school days. His footwork is exceptional. It's like out of this world. He's got amazing footwork, great route running. He gets into his cuts, just abnormal speed. He's got this weird quickness to him, just getting in and out of the route. And once he makes a catch, it's just like, okay, well, he's already created 5 yards of separation on you, right? That's just nuts. And I think the Lions saw that on draft day and picked him in the 4th round because of that. Like, he was one of the best receivers in college football. And here he is playing for the Lions, and now he's one of the best in the NFL. He is, I think, 8th or 9th in Pro Bowl voting for receivers. If he had been around all year, I think he could be 6, maybe even top 5, right? He's been that kind of difference maker for the Lions. And if we base a Pro Bowl off of difference makers, I mean, he's in there. He's in there. I fully believe 3 or 4 of our maybe 4 of our offensive linemen are in there. Aiden Hutchinson is probably in the Pro Bowl. I mean, and I looked at this stat. I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago. Out of all edge rushers, he's been double teamed the 3rd most in the NFL. But he still puts up these absurd rates, these pressure rates. And he's getting now, it's like consistent where he's getting at least 1 sack a game, or at least a half sack a game, which he's just been a constant difference maker. And you can see it just makes a difference for the entire O-line. Even guys like Aleem McNeil, who's not known as a pass rusher, he's getting in there and putting pressure on because you got to go one-on-one with him, right? He's such a big guy. He's really a run stuffer, but he's taken the right guard or the center, and he's just pushing him back all the way back to the quarterback into his lap. Like, what happened? What's going on? Like, I remember watching, I think it was the Giants game where Aleem is just getting constant pressure on Daniel Jones. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't see this from Aleem McNeil. And he's doing it. And he's been very solid for us. Like, his rookie year, he was great. And just for some reason, it's just like, hey, he's taking that next step, and I think a lot of it has to do with Aiden Hutchinson, the iron sharpening iron, as they talked about it on Hard Knocks, where he was going against Penei Sewell, which I believe Penei Sewell is a top 3 right tackle in the NFL. He's proven it, and I mean, damn right he should be in the Pro Bowl, damn right. And I'm just so excited for this team, even if they don't make the playoffs this year. Which I really hope they do, obviously, right? For obvious reasons. I love that team so much. And even if they don't make the playoffs this year, there's so much hope for the future. And this is the first time ever, I mentioned to you the other day, where I said,
feels calm.
This is the first time where it's like I said I have my entire trust in Brad Holmes. My entire trust is in a GM. I've never said that for any of my sports teams ever, all right? Pistons, Lions, Red Wings.
Were you getting emotional or were you yawning?
I had something in my throat.
Oh, okay.
No, I was not getting emotional. You looked at me. I was like,
I thought you were crying. It's like, damn.
I can go. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Hey, I mean, if the Lions win a playoff game, I probably will cry.
Yeah, you're
and that day hopefully comes very soon. Hopefully it's within the next 5 weeks. That'd be pretty cool. But
5 weeks.
yeah, 5 weeks in January. But don't count your chickens. Don't get
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, don't trip over your own feet. I kind of made that up. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm at a loss.
how about the rest of the NFL? We've kind of been on the Lions for a while. Is there really anything else we need?
Yeah.
The Buccaneers. I mean,
Bucks
just
got blown
selling.
out. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield.
Tom Brady looked old.
Baker
Baker
Mayfield.
Baker comeback of the year,
Oh my gosh.
maybe.
I mean, that was you don't see that. I
traded.
mean, he gets picked up, and then a day later, 2 days later, it was
He
like
starts
he
on
starts
Thursday
just 36
Night
hours.
Football. Huh.
It's like what?
Gosh,
And then
Baker's
yeah,
a mystery, man.
he made
I don't
some
even know what to say.
impressive throws.
Yeah.
There were some sidearm throws.
I mean-
that he made rolling out to his left, so he's got to make this weird what?
He was
he was completing them too. Like it wasn't short. He didn't short hop it. He had pressure in his face, and he still completed these passes on the final drive where it was like he had to go 98 yards or something, and he did it. He did it like it was like no problem. He's like, I got this,
second
coach.
day in the system.
Mhm.
Ran 2 minute flawlessly, won the game.
But this happens with every team that he's on. And I know, like, he hasn't had the most success if you talk about a win-loss ratio. But, like, he brings that confidence, that energy.
That's all well,
right? And
borderline arrogance.
people, what?
Hmm?
Okay. He brings this confidence. And it seems like the team, especially, like, the O-line, will jump on it. And for some reason, it's like, wow, Baker's a great leader. And he's been that great leader since his days at Oklahoma when he won the Heisman.
Yeah, people forget he won the Heisman.
Mm-hmm. He was the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Like people forget. Jared Goff is a first
No,
overall
he
pick.
hasn't had the greatest NFL career, but he also brought the Browns to the playoffs, which I think that's an accomplishment, similar to the Lions.
I mean, I just mentioned Jared Goff.
Yeah.
The Lions recently talked about how he is not a bridge quarterback. So they think until his contract is done or whatever happens, I really don't know, but I'm in complete trust of Brad Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this
Back to
guy
Baker?
could be the guy. We could build something around Jared Goff, which if you would have told me that last year, I would have been like, you're nuts.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that freaking 4 weeks ago, where all this interest is coming up from Lamar Jackson, coming to Detroit. I mean, he was in Detroit. I was like, whoa, we could get Lamar Jackson. Or like we're sitting here with the 4th pick. We could pick, Bryce Young, something like that. And, for some reason, the Lions are sticking with Goff, and he's playing really well. He's playing exceptional. And I'm not going to say no. I mean, I have no reason but to say, carry on, Brad Holmes. Carry on.
Can we get back to Baker now?
Yeah, let's get
Okay.
back to Baker.
I know I shouldn't have set you up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Baker, one of the best comebacks of the season. Very impressive from start to finish. Brady looked very old against the Niners. Got absolutely blown out by Brock Purdy.
How about Brock Purdy?
Looked great. After Jimmy Garoppolo went down last week, Brock Purdy came in, just kind of shoved it up. Tom Brady's,
Yeah.
you know what?
He was like, time to we
And-
ball. Time the ball.
Time the ball. And
Time
the
the ball.
49ers defense balled as well. They're the best defense in the league. They picked off Brady twice, got to him, pressured him, Bosa on the edge, and a bunch of those other weapons that they have. Really not great with their roster.
Yeah.
I know they have Nick Bosa, or is it Nick Bosa? Which Bosa is on the
For which one?
Niners?
Nick. Sorry.
Okay.
I
You just completely froze.
I kind of zoned out right there. That's
Well, Bosa's their guy, and he looked good. Who else? Chiefs. Game got close against the Broncos.
Oh yeah.
But they
Mahomes
pull
threw
it out.
3 interceptions.
Yeah. Tied a career high.
Mhm.
Who else? Titans lost to the Jaguars at home. First time the Jaguars have
Jags
won
play
in
the Cowboys.
over 3,000 days.
They play the Cowboys, and that's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Cowboys, what a gutsy win, right? And I'm
98
the
yards.
team they played was 110-1. I get it, right? Yeah, 98 yards, right?
On the
But
last drive.
They made huge stands on defense. 3 possessions in a row where it was fourth down, or 2 punts and then a turnover and downs. at their own 2-yard line, and then they take it kind of like very similar to the Baker Mayfield, and they take it all the way down and win the game. So just no problem. They played well. They played really well. They grinded that one out.
Yeah,
That was super impressive. And I know, like, oh man, but why the Cowboys really? I mean, they almost lost to the Texans, right? But like, it's the NFL, right? This is a tough league, no matter who you play. And to grind out a win like that, for the Cowboys to say, hey, this is who we are, right? We're gonna do this, and we're gonna show the rest of the NFL.
we're not going to lay down.
Yeah, exactly. All right. They didn't roll over.
Nope. Almost died.
Dak Prescott threw a pick at the same. What was it? I think it was the same yard line. It was 2-yard line. He threw a pick, and then they come up with a huge stop, and then
Get it done.
Just refocus, reconnect,
Yeah.
and then boom.
That's what the good teams do.
Yeah, and they have a tough matchup. I think. I think are they at home? I don't really
against the
remember.
Titans?
It is against the Jags. It's a huge game for the Jags because they got crushed by the Lions, and then they crushed the Titans, and now
talk about a team on the downward slide.
yeah,
Titans are looking rough.
but it's so similar to the Buccaneers where it's like, who's gonna catch up? Who's gonna be that team? And we're talking about the Panthers. We're talking about the Falcons a little bit. We haven't even spoken about the Falcons actually. Good for you. You had a bye week. All right, cool. And now it's the Titans who are 7-6 now after starting 7-3 and losing to your Bengals. And then I don't know. I mean that game kind of just turned off.
It was kind of like the domino effect in a way.
Yeah,
they lose to the Bengals, which is an emotional game. There's sort of a rivalry, not like too much, but they met in the playoffs last year. The Bengals won on a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some animosity. There's some pent-up anger in the Titans world against the Bengals. They go in, lose again to the Bengals at home, and then you go on the road to play the Eagles, which are arguably the best team in football right now, and you get smoked.
Yeah.
And one of your old receivers, A.J. Brown, gets your general manager fired.
Yep.
I mean, it's what happened. And then you lose at home embarrassingly to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tough go. And you go from 7-3 to 7-6. That changes the season.
Changes the entire narrative of who the Titans were.
Yeah.
Even though they can still run the ball very well. I mean, Derrick Henry is just a generational talent. They had some turnovers here and there. They can't throw the ball. I mean, It seems like once they lost Treylon Burks earlier in the year, and is he back?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure. I know he came back. I don't know if he's hurt again or not, but his name has not been spoken much. And Treylon's, I mean, he's a good receiver, but you traded A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks, right? You traded a guy who's proven it right now. He's putting up career numbers in Philadelphia. And not to say he didn't have an amazing career in Tennessee, but I think if I were a Tennessee fan, I'd be a little frustrated. Right, the trade didn't make any sense, and like usually in the NFL, these trades work out where it's a win-win for both teams. We can talk about the Rams and Lions when the Rams won a Super Bowl and the Lions are basically got to an accelerated rebuild. Like we can talk about all those kinds of trades, even like well, not the Seahawks Broncos, but there are many trades that have happened throughout NFL history where it's a professional business and it's a win-win, or seemingly, and then you get to those deals like A.J. Brown, where it's like what I mean, that's insane. But here we are, we're headed to Week 15, and there's a whole lot to talk about. We're getting to Saturday games in the NFL because bowl season is upon us, and it's a great time. But we're gonna have Saturday games for the rest of the year until the NFC and AFC championship. So,
do you want to talk some baseball free agency?
Go ahead.
All right. So last week or show, during the episode, I got a notification on my phone that I did not bring up, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, looking back on it. But I got a notification that Aaron Judge had signed a contract with the
San Francisco
San Francisco Giants. Used to be the New York Giants. Anyways. Signed a deal with the Giants for $360 million for 9 years. And for all those that were in the bidding war with Judge, including the Reds, that was a joke. Anyways, he was looking for 9 years, around $360 million. And he's age 31 now, so that puts him at 40 years old at the end of his contract. A lot of money. Last year, I think the Yankees offered him a contract that was just over $200 million. He turns around, balls out, sets the AL home run record, and the Yankees franchise home run record. I think gets paid $150 million more than he would have last year.
Yep.
So good for him. John Heyman, who reports for MLB Network, tweeted this out. Just said sources are saying, didn't confirm which sources. Spelled his name Arson Judge instead of Aaron Judge, which red flag again. And then like 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, backtracked and said that he heard a false report and jumped the gun. And so,
mind, sorry.
Yeah. So baseball world's flipped upside down, and then it's flipped back over. Yankees fans are crying in the streets, which the Giants fans are rejoicing. And then this happens. And then the next morning, Judge signs the same contract with the Yankees, re-signs with the Yankees. So that obviously is the biggest free agent deal of this year's free agency. But also some other ones. Cody Bellinger signed with the Cubs for $17.5 million. It's only a 1-year deal. Mitch Haniger, Seattle Mariners outfielder, signed a deal with the San Francisco Giants for 3 years at $43.5 million.
How about the what was it? Japanese prospects are being signed right now. That reliever for the Mets.
Starting pitcher Kodai Senga. He signed a 5-year deal. Taiwan. So interesting for the Mets. So you lose DeGrom, you lose Taiwan Walker, you lose Chris Bassett. Those are 3 horses. You get Verlander, you get Kodai Senga, and you also get Jose Quintana, who was with the Pirates, got traded to the Cardinals. Now, did he get traded to the Cardinals? Yeah, got traded to the Cardinals, and now he's with the Mets. So you lose 3 starters, replace 3 starters.
Yep.
You also reset.
I thought it was a reliever. It's okay. If he's a
whatever
starter, he's a starter. Whatever.
I think he's a starter.
If he's a starter, then that's even better for the
Mets. He
Mets.
throws 100 with a wicked splitter.
Yeah,
he's wicked.
Yeah.
So Taiwan Walker signed with the Phillies.
I'm so intrigued by international prospects in baseball.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
Especially Japanese players are very fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Especially if pitchers, because they're just on par with the best of the best in the bigs. Yeah. They throw hard. They're nasty. They got nasty stuff. Yeah. And a lot of the pitches, someone pointed this out to me the other day, but a lot of their pitches break different ways than major league players are used to seeing. Not a lot of guys throw splitters. A lot of guys from Japan throw a splitter. So if you're a hitter, you got 0.3, 0.4 seconds to react, and you don't know the shape that the ball is coming in, or you can't track it well with your eye. That's a problem. So it makes Shohei Ohtani very effective. And I think as he goes on, people are going to start figuring it out because they'll be more used to it, especially in the division. But he's still going to be dominant because he's Shohei. Kodai Senga's probably going to do something similar.
Sean Murphy. The trade.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second.
Team. But I wanted to mention real quick for Judge, where both teams had talked about any offer they throw will counter. Right? Yeah. Both teams had talked about it, the Giants and the Yankees. So I think it's interesting. Maybe he did jump the gun, but maybe the offer was there. And then
but if you're a reporter, you have to know,
right? Especially
that big of a story, that big of a free agent. You can't just say, "Oh, I thought it was right." Sorry.
Right? Yeah. I get that.
You're a journalist. Your job is to report things, not make things up. Especially when money's involved, personal information, all that kind of stuff is involved.
And how
changes everything, because it doesn't only change it for the player and the team that he's signing for. It changes the landscape of every other team.
Right.
Their decisions, because maybe if Judge goes here, we're going to think about getting this guy to go here and all this sort of stuff. Like if he goes to the Giants and the Yankees might pursue this guy, so we'll make this guy an offer. Like there's a lot of dominoes that probably were falling after the Judge news came through.
How about that GM though?
AJ Preller. Oh,
the
Brian
Yankees.
Cashman, who signed himself
Where he signed himself. Yeah.
He signed
And then
himself to a
honestly,
4-year,
in that
5-year
moment,
extension.
when that was the day before our podcast. That was a Monday where I was like, in that moment, I thought, all right, well, he just signed himself, and he's probably not going to sign Aaron Judge. But of course, no salary cap. Oh, we got all the money in the world. We can sign whoever we want. Which
basically,
I hate it. So
it won't
don't
change.
Get me started on that.
Unfortunately,
I know it won't change because of the MLBPA, but like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Let me run through some of these deals. So Taijuan Walker signed for $72 million in 4 years with the Phillies, so traded in the division. Phillies, again, reloading some starting pitching. That's a good third starter for them because they got Nola, they got Wheeler, now Taijuan Walker. The Cubs got Jamison Tyone from the Yankees for 4 years, $68 million. So he goes with Bellinger. Kenley Jansen, who was the closer for the Braves the last couple of years, is going to the Red Sox. Jose Quintana, like I said, is going to the New York Mets. Wilson Contreras signed with the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, a deal that made too much sense.
Yeah.
Like, just hypothesizing about it.
I thought the Tigers would try to go after Contreras. But
yeah. So Wilson Contreras goes from St. Louis, or from the Cubs to St. Louis, again, in division rival, for 5 years, $87.5 million. Who else? Oh, Xander Bogaerts. The Red Sox do not re-sign him. He goes to the San Diego Padres for an 11-year, $280 million
How about
contract.
the Padres?
Which is a crazy, crazy, crazy contract.
I mean, the run the Padres made last year.
Yeah.
Without Tatis, right? Which
AJ
they might have been better without him. I don't. I might be the guy to say that, but they might have been better without Tatis.
Well, the Padres won after Trey Turner. They almost got him. They won after Judge at the final moments. They made him an offer.
They didn't get him.
Didn't get him. And then they get Bogaerts from the Red Sox. So you have Tatis, Bogaerts, Juan Soto, Manny Machado. I'm blanking on some other people.
Team.
Very fun team.
Yeah.
San Diego. That's pretty good. I didn't make that up. I saw that somewhere. But 11 years at $280 million. I'm not sure how old Xander Bogaerts is, but he's not young. And 11 years is a long
Can you
contract.
quickly look up that Padres roster?
Yes.
Yeah, because there are names that we are both forgetting right now. That now
Jake Cronenworth.
Who was man?
So it'd be Jurickson Profar.
Yes, there
Juan
we go.
Soto,
Jurickson, love him.
Manny Machado, Jake Cronenworth, Josh Bell got traded to
he's
the
gone.
Indians, so he's gone. Drury.
Well,
What? This is wrong. Never mind.
isn't Drury a free agent?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But Jurickson,
you got
wasn't he a
some
rookie?
studs.
Wasn't Profar a rookie last year?
Who?
Jurickson.
No.
No.
So
Well, he's still young and he's still stud.
here we go.
So
So your top four is going to be Fernando, Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, Austin Nola, Trent Grisham, David Dahl,
Trent Grisham.
and Hae-Sung Kim.
Forgot about him. There were two guys that I was trying to remember, and it was Grisham and Jurickson Profar.
Yeah. So
I love those guys.
and
they both
they're
played
going to be
well.
fun. Their pitching's been
playoffs.
really good. They still got Musgrove. They still got Yu Darvish.
Oh, well, Joe Musgrove.
I love Joe Musgrove. Anyways,
The one game that will be remembered for the rest of his life because he pitched extremely well in that one game.
yeah. Brandon
was a
Nimmo
crucial game.
re-signed on an 8-year deal with the New York Mets, which is huge for them. David Robertson, one of the top relievers, signed with the Mets. So Stevie Cohen just out there just handing out the checkbook. You get money, you get money, you get money. Play for us. We're gonna buy a World Series.
This is what I hate about baseball. This is like I quickly can I explain quickly because it's just been on my head, on my mind for just the last 5
You
minutes.
got 1 minute.
Where it's like even though there won't be a salary cap, right? You control this. You have the environments where you have these big teams where it seems like every year they're going to come back and be better, or just at the same level. And then you have like small market teams like Baltimore or even us, Gabe,
Yeah.
You and me. And it seems like, oh, yeah, but we can build the draft. Well, no, you can't even do that because, there's a lottery. So, yeah, I know it's tradition. I get it. But like, small market teams, we got to find a way to get lucky, right? And when we do get lucky, we have to capitalize. And that's what Detroit did way back in 2006. And it lasted until, about 2015, 2016, even 2017, they were close to the playoffs, but then it just fizzled out. And now it's just like, we gotta do something different. Like we have to offer these guys something new. We gotta develop guys through our farm system. And how's that going for us? Not great, really not great. Yes, we've had good pitchers come up. Spencer Torkelson is trying to. I think he will figure it out.
Yeah.
But Riley Green even. But like again, it's just frustrating for us small market teams.
Okay. And then the last thing that I want to mention with baseball. This is a very fun trade between the Atlanta Braves, the Oakland A's, and the Milwaukee Brewers. So, Atlanta is getting catcher Sean Murphy. Who's one of the best top catchers on the market, outside of Contreras, I would say.
Good hitter, good defenseman.
Good hitter, good defensive player. Reuniting with Matt Olson.
Yeah.
Did you call him a defenseman?
I did call him.
You playing hockey?
He is a defense man.
Yeah.
He's a man of defense.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Oakland is getting left-handed pitcher Kyle Muller.
Good at hitting, good at fielding.
Estuary Ruiz. Utility player Estuary Ruiz. Right-handed pitcher Freddie Tarnock. Right-handed pitcher Robert Salinas. And catcher Manny Pena. And then the Milwaukee Brewers from the Braves are going to get catcher William Contreras, so brother of Wilson Contreras. Right-handed pitcher Justin Yeager. And right-handed pitcher Joel Pamps. Interesting.
Yeah.
But, again, Atlanta did this last year with, well, not to this extent, but they brought in Matt Olson to replace Freddie Freeman. William Contreras has been a very good number 2 catcher for the Braves after Travis d'Arnaud. You bring in Sean Murphy. You got a 1-2 punch. d'Arnaud's getting up there in age a little bit, so I'm thinking Murphy takes a little bit of the reins from him, plays a few more games. He played like 140 or 150 games last year, like one of the most durable catchers in the league. I guess the only question is how well does he gel with the pitching staff? Because pitching-catching relationships are very far overlooked, especially in Major League Baseball. But you have so much talent on that team. They'll be fine.
Yep. And the Tigers also, speaking to my Tigers fans, just I think it was a week
Very
ago, traded Joe Jimenez. He was he's been up and down in the league. When he was in the league earlier in his career, he pitched really well, and then got sent down to AAA after some injuries and some struggles, and then he came back last year and he pitched, pretty decent, right? Just traded him. Where did we trade him? Why am I forgetting? I can't remember. Okay, we traded him somewhere and cash considerations for a couple minor league pitchers and was it 1 pick? It might have been, but I'm happy with that deal. I am.
Yeah.
Jimenez is not young, right? So to get something out of him, if we don't see him as a fit for the future, to get assets out of him, perfect. We'll see how those guys, where they can take us, how those guys play, especially in AAA, and hopefully they can bump up into the MLB. But that's just the Tigers.
Yeah,
we're just rebuilding, just trying our best here.
Well, to wrap this up, Xavier, last game of the non-conference season is tonight against Southern.
I will not be going.
Matt will not be going.
Nope.
I will be there.
I didn't get a ticket. I'm going to 4 games this year. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all in Big East play. I'm not wasting my time. All right. 4 games in Big East play. Big East play is so important. All right. Oh, jeez.
I muted his mic. I have all the power.
You didn't mute it.
I will. Yeah. Try to talk now.
Hello?
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
Anyways, Big East play starts next week. Big Ten's kind of been sprinkled in
there. Michigan State's
bit.
playing Oakland next.
Yeah. So college basketball's on the men. UConn is good.
Yeah.
UConn is very good.
Men's and women's.
Men's and women's. I think the last AP poll, they're up to number 3. A lot of people can make the argument that they're the best team in the country as of now.
Yeah.
I think they don't have any holes. Sanogo's a beast.
One guy that I love from last season that when he played against us, Michigan State. I'm sorry. And when he played against Michigan State, and now he's taking that next step is Andre Jackson.
Yeah. Very
he's
good player.
Awesome. He's athletic.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
He's long too.
Xavier plays UConn December 31st at 12 p.m. New Year's Eve on Fox. If anybody's looking ahead for planning for New Year's Eve, I know there's some other important games.
I was really hoping
it might draw more interest, but
I'm really hoping that I'm not going to be able to be there. But I was really hoping that I could be. But I
That'll be a
don't
fun
even
game.
have a ticket either.
Yeah.
So couldn't do that. Actually, real quick, we have a new segment coming out called Rank 'em. Right? We're gonna start it in quotes next week. All right. I just want to ask one rank 'em question this week, just to kind of preview what's gonna come. So rank 'em: pancakes, waffles, French toast.
I'll just stay in that order. Pancakes 1, waffles 2, French toast 3.
Okay. I'm a sole believer that French toast is number 1.
No.
Okay. Well, we can have our disagreements, but French toast is number 1.
Well, I can disagree.
Pancakes are the reliable, right? They are the ones I can eat the most of. Number 2, and waffles they're so good, but they're gonna be number 3.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So that's just a little taste. Get it? Because
I hope you're intrigued.
Tasting breakfast foods.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for humoring us this week. We had some fun just bantering for a few minutes.
Yep.
But thank you guys for tuning in to episode number 13 of the Quick Question Podcast. Next week, Matt and I are on Christmas break starting at the end of this week. So we are still planning on doing the show over Christmas break. I think we'll have 3 episodes for you during that time.
Something like that.
They might look different. They could be audio only. Depends on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us are going to be busy. Matt's actually going to be on a cruise.
Yeah.
So we will figure out what we're going to do.
I'm very excited, actually. That was just
yeah. So we will figure out what we're doing, but you can expect an episode at some point during each week of Christmas break. We come back January 9th, I think we start classes again. So after that, it'll be pretty normal until the end of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, with that being said, I can't speak. My brain's
Both
gone.
of us are lost.
My brain's gone.
From defensemen to, yeah.
It's rough. But thank you guys for joining us. Please share this with your friends, anybody that you know that would like our content. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Goodbye.
Come on, Harry. We want to say goodnight to you.
I forgot about that.